And we are live! Yay! Let me share this on social media. And we are live! Yay! Okay, it's up on Tumblr. Now let's post it to Twitter. Alright! Whoops. Whoops. I pressed a button and it canceled everything. How was I supposed to know that leaning on my keyboard was bad? Okay, everything seems normal. Alright, load. I think we're ready, so. Okay, so if you don't know the story, we crashed into the Mystery Shack because Ford had a magnet gun and drove our our car to crash into the Mystery Shack. He promises he's gonna fix it, but Stan said that he could fix it better, so he's fixing it. And Mabel is excited that we're there. Dipper is suspicious. The next day, after we slept in the Mystery Shack, we woke in the afternoon, and we ate something, and then we chose to follow Ford around. Mabel came up and was distressed because Waddles had pieces of paper in his mouth, and they got the papers from Waddles' mouth. We saw that it was the Mothman on the paper, and that's what Waddles was afraid of, or Waddles was just being a pig. So Mabel wants Ford to create an antidote or a repellent for the Mothman, which we need a moth wing from the Mothman to do so. So us and Ford went out on an adventure to go get the Mothman wing. And we're now right in front of the Mothman. Right, everyone caught up? Everyone good? Okay. Wait, I get to touch touch Mothman? The Mothman? Yes, and it turns into 100 black witch moths. It's like experiencing a swarm of locusts. Surprising when you're not expecting it. Remember, even just a light touch is enough. Still yourself, awaiting Ford's signal. He waves his hand to coax you forward, and then it's up to you to decide how to, well, make contact. This music! How's the music? Is it a little too loud? It's loud in my ears. I need to turn down my headphones. How's the music? Is it too loud? Can you hear me through the music? Still? Mom. Yeah, my mom's here. So what? She's supporting me. She loves me. Stealth a little. A little too loud? Okay. Turn it down to there. Yeah. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. So my mom wants us to approach with stealth, but I say run around its back to its blind spot. No, that might trigger him. I think approach with stealth is good, so let's approach with stealth. You tiptoe towards the Mothman, remembering Ford's comment on the dark, and trying to channel your inner stealth skills. Of course, that's the moment your phone starts trying to blast Taking Over Midnight by Aunt Sandra. You're confused before remembering that Mabel added her number to your contacts and must have made that her custom ringtone. Mothman turns at the noise and screeches, but before you can barrel into it, the creature explodes into 100 moths, floating around you, getting stuck in your shirt and glittering around your face, surrounding you in mothy hell. Your task accomplished, Ford rushes into the large swarm of moths, waving a butterfly net with a few unsuccessful swipes. He tries swatting the more aggressive ones away, but there are too many. What do we want to do? Do we want to use our phone's light to attract them, or do we want to help Ford? I say use the phone's light. Run up to him? Yeah, run! Run away. But seriously, where do you want to... Do we want to run up to Ford and help him, or do we want to use the phone's light? Light. Alright, we're going for the light! You grab your phone quickly and switch on the light on, running to Ford's side and holding it up high. You even attempt to call them over, despite knowing they don't respond to sound. Before long, they all crowd around the phone, the sight of light flickering and reflecting off so many small wings would be somewhat captivating if you hadn't just been in the midst of them. Ford puts the butterfly net away and jar in hand, carefully scoops one of the moths up. Whoa, that could have gone better, but we've succeeded nonetheless. As Ford pockets the jar, you turn off the light. With no light and no threat to focus in on, the cloud disperses. That was amazing! Ford laughs and brushes dust and dirt off his trench coat. You could say that. Our completed repellent is within sight. Let's head back. Ford turns to leave the cave. He looks calm and content. You, on the other hand, are buzzing with energy under an adrenaline rush. Should you go for a high five? Should we go for the high five? It might get awkward because he has 6 fingers. And he's a nerd, so he doesn't really do high fives. Sure, high 6, says Mom. You raise your hand in a universally understood offer of a high five. Ford pauses, then grins, high-fiving you. Or rather, 6. When you and Ford finally reach the cave entrance, you find the forest that you'd left in dying light is now awash with a silvery glow. A gap between the leaves overhead provides a view of the night sky, along with a long string of stars. A few more steps, and the Milky Way comes into view. Bug. Looking as if it tears across the fabric of the sky. Ford notices you looking. See something? The pterodactyl doesn't usually come out this late, but being a prehistoric creature, its behavior is rather unpredictable. So, have we never seen the Milky Way, or have we seen it? A or B? B. I haven't seen the Milky Way in a while. I had a couple chances this summer. It looks stunning over the calm ocean at night. It's incredible up here. He gazes up into the night sky. A whole year has passed, yet it still feels strange to see a sky I recognize. What? Oh, traveling. You know, I was in a different part of the world. We both stare up at the sky in a comfortable silence for a few moments. The quiet of the forest settles in, along with the distant sound of flowing water, and you find yourself surprisingly glad that Ford had accidentally pulled you here. If this is one of the moments you get to experience. Out of the corner of your eye, you swear you see Ford looking at you instead of up. But when you tilt your head back down, his attention is elsewhere. Eventually, the two of you come to a wordless mutual agreement to continue on, and you're walking again. You'll have to show me the other creatures that live here sometime. You're glad you said so, when you look over and find that Ford looks pleasantly surprised to hear it. His chest puffs out with pride. Of course! Maybe we'll even get to spot the hide behind, or tag along with Dipper when he visits the multi-bear. Oh yeah, the multi-bear. It's a bear with multiple bear parts. It's multiple bears. So what? Ford taps his temple, grinning. You'll have to wait until I show you to find out. I'm holding you to that. We have some time left before we get back, if you're up for another walk. You must make a face because Ford looks back at you and laughs. We're not far, I promise. I just thought I might answer a few of your questions, if you have any. I say let's do the questions. Alright. Actually, I do have questions. You must stay in great shape if you do this all day. Ha! You know, actually, this sort of thing isn't part of my exercise regimen. Ford turns at the stone marker toward the sound of the river, and sure enough, after a while it comes into view. The moonlight illuminates the water as you walk along it. After following the river for quite a few minutes, the shoreline expands into a small round lake in the center of a clearing. Overhanging it is a large flat rock, the kind that used to be used as less than effective diving boards in times of emergency. The emergency being that one just had to jump into the lake. However, neither yourself nor Ford really look in the direction of the diving board. He leads you toward the edge of the lake, where a relatively flat boulder could substitute for a bench, and the two of you take a seat. Alright, shall we just go down the list? Because all these will bring us back to the list. I think. Shack? Ask about the Mystery Shack. Ah, yes, the Mystery Shack used to be my home once upon a time, and now it's a tourist trap. I'm glad for what it's become as a home. I just wish it weren't so offending to each of the senses. Okay, list. Ask about the other creatures in Gravity Falls. You said to wait, but can I at least get a preview of what I'd be getting into? No content to leave them to discover yourself? Well, has anyone told you about the Gobblewonker? You snort, taken aback by the name, but compose yourself when Ford simply raises an eyebrow. I don't think so, no. Not even in the tourist guide? Does the office even read my letters? No. Ford mutters to himself something about updating the tourist guide to warn against local dangers. He sighs with a frustration that's reversed for bureaucracy, but soon lightens up at the prospect of getting to introduce you to another strange creature. Well, the Gobblewonker is a large sea creature that lives in this very lake. One could say it's our version of the Loch Ness Monster. My old research assistant apparently saw it at some point. He said it was large, gray, and scaly with a long neck like a giraffe. You wouldn't have had any odd sightings yet, have you? It's only been 24 hours, but my own encounter with the strange occurred shortly after my arrival as well. Not apart from today. I don't remember what happened last night. I think it's last night. I can't remember. I don't think we've seen anything besides today. Not apart from today. Well, you don't count on that being the norm. Well, don't count on that being the norm, Grunkle. I keep forgetting that's her name! In fact, the norm is a laughable concept here. Ask about staying. Are you really okay with me staying here? Absolutely. I owe it to you, after all. You helping me today, however, is not part of the plan. You making it rather hard to settle my debt. I think you did me a favor just by letting me come along today. The two of you share a smile. Oh, there's a kitty! There's a kitty! Come here, baby! Come here. Oh! It's a Gigi! Hi, Gigi! Say hi! Say hi! Okay. Oh, she's gonna stand on my boobs. No, don't go on the... You just want pets. Don't step on the keyboard. Butt in my face. There you go. Yeah! What up, Uncle Travis? You're awesome! Alright, let's ask about his family. What is Mabel like? In short, a force to be reckoned with. She radiates charm and positivity, and has depths of determination I can only guess at. You'll find out for yourself, most likely. It's hard not to wake up one day and find yourself her friend. Perhaps you already are. He wiggles his fingers spookily in the air and you laugh. Oh no, why are you sad? Don't be sad, we're playing Gravity Falls. And it's nearly Friday. It's nearly Friday. I doubt it. I don't doubt it. What is Dipper like? Dipper is very intelligent in many ways. He reminds me of, well, myself. Last summer, he found the research journals I mentioned, and instead of overlooking them, made some impressive contributions of his own. Oh no! That's not good. He has since started his own journal, and I look forward to see where life will take him. He's made me prouder than I can say. Who is Seuss? Oh, the handyman Seuss? He's... well... I'm not sure what he does exactly, but Stan gave him the rights to conduct his business with the shack. So he spends his day giving out tours, selling merchandise, fooling the townsfolk, giving no refunds, and the like. I may not have been around the original Mystery Shack very often while Stan was still running it, but I believe Seuss is doing the brand name good. What is Stan like? Stubborn, foolhardy, a liar and a cheapskate, but a true hero at heart. There's no one else I'd rather call my brother. Ask Ford about the stars. You ask Ford if he has a favorite constellation, his answer comes faster than you'd expected. Orion and Ursa Major, without a doubt. What about you? Yeah, Stan gives no refunds, and so does Seuss. Stan is, like, really hard with money. So what do we want to say? I say coincidentally Ursa Major. Alright, coincidentally, Ursa Major. Well, you must have good taste. Ford looks out across the lake and thought. Grunkle Fondler, I have to admit, I didn't want to take you with me earlier today. I thought I'd be walking myself into an uncomfortable social situation. So did you, to be honest. And you did well out there. Not many tourists can handle the kind of tasks we just completed. This has had the potential to have gone disastrously. I mean, a butterfly net against Mothman? Easily a 3% success rate. Sometimes the more Ford speaks, the less reassured you feel until it's all that's left is a distant unease. You smile and nod anyway. The two of you sit in another moment of quiet, night air pleasantly chill around you until Ford breaks it again. We should head back now. I'm sure Mabel will want to hear we've been successful. You stand and give Ford a hand from the makeshift bench. Ford takes the lead again, and soon you're no longer able to catch sight of the lake when you glance back. Ford gradually adjusts his pace to yours, walking side by side with you in companionable silence, all the way back to the shack. Almost there. You recognize... Hold on, I have to close the door again. Ugh! Gigi, did you open the door? Why did you open the door? Hi, Stella. Now you're trapped in here with me, Gigi. Alright. You recognize from the incredibly flashy signs toting praise like Mystery Shack this way and Sasquatch to your left that you were extremely close to arriving back at the shack. As you and Ford leave the tree line, you see bright lights shining on the porch. You make out the faint outline of the kid's shadow as they run through the house and emerge in the attic window. Mabel pushes it open, leaning out. Grunkle, Ford! Finally! You guys took so long! I had time to cover waddles and macaroni! Dang it, Mabel. Why would you do that? I have my reasons! Did you get the thing? Yes, and I'm coming inside so we can stop shouting. Grunkle, finally come along. You've got a pig to save. That poor pig. Ford strides back into the shack, a man on a mission. You grin and follow, but not before taking one last look at the night sky. Yeah, maybe your stay won't be too bad after all. I think the cat is trying to escape. Back inside the shack, the grand conclusion to your expedition to the Mothman Cave is spritzing Mabel's pig with the newly finished deterrent until the poor piglet reeks of lavender. You see Mabel and Dipper head up to bed looking sleepier than usual as a result. Something about lavender is so soothing to the senses that you crash out fairly soon after, face first on your makeshift bed. Yay! Can you give me dating tips? You're good at this. This page! You look so grumpy! Well, he is grumpy most of the time. Alright. That was funny. You wake up to a loud crash downstairs. Not entirely uncommon in this house, you're quickly finding out, but still disconcerting. More clatters and thumps lead you to the kitchen where Mabel teeters on a short stepladder in front of the pantry. Standing on her tiptoes, she reaches as high as she can for a small yellow box on the top shelf. Pancake mix. Without a word, you go to her side and pluck the box from the shelf for her, placing it into her outstretched hands. Oh, Grunkle Fondler, thank you! Grunkle Stan put it on the top shelf for some reason, but I need some Mabel cakes. It's a breakfast emergency. She waggles her free fingers in your face, and you can't help but laugh. You can tell the house becomes more alive when this kid's around. Wanna help me make them? We only need chocolate milk, coffee, pink food coloring, and potato golos to make pot of golos. Oh, Lucky Charms, basically. To make this breakfast dream a breakfast reality. As delicious as that sounds, you're inclined to ask where the coffee comes into the mix when you realize the house is suspiciously quiet. Mabel, where is everybody? Oh, Grunkle Stan needed stuff for your car, so he went to go get Mecky techie stuff for that. I think Grunkle Ford's somewhere. You heard the abominable broman. He heard the abominable broman was trying to steal soda from campers, so he went to help them out. Yep, that's where he went. Totally knew that. So they left you guys to make breakfast on your own? You don't know the family well enough yet to know this is commonplace, so the idea of leaving two teenagers alone to fend for themselves seems fine. If one of the teenagers wasn't Mabel anyway. You still don't know how coffee fits into her Mabel cakes, but now you don't really want to know. Dipper attempts to hide the pancake mix from Mabel while she's grabbing the chocolate milk from the fridge. Apparently he doesn't want to find out either. Mabel, while your Mabel cakes sound absolutely divine, why don't we... Quick, think of something so you don't hurt her feelings. Go out for breakfast! Or Dipper, can you cook? Which one, guys? Go. Alright, go out for breakfast. Is there somewhere we can go out for IHOP? Kind of, there's a diner. Is there somewhere we can go out to get breakfast? We should really save the Mabel cakes till your great uncles get back. I know they wouldn't want to miss them. But I want to perfect my recipe! I have to get better at cooking and baking stuff so I can survive out there in the world. What if in high school I'll have to bake stuff and people are better at it than me? Mabel looks very agitated, tugging at her hair with both hands. If I can't make the perfect Mabel cakes, I can never be on Bad Dreams Dining. I gotta impress Gerald Rambone. Grunkle Fowler, it's my destiny! Quick, think of something so you don't... Oh, Dipper, can you cook? Maybe Dipper can help you make something different. We should save the Mabel cakes for another day. A more special day. But Grunkle Fondler... Mabel, still standing on the stepladder, reaches up and squishes your cheeks together, her wide eyes staring into your soul. Every day is a special day with Mabel cakes! You glance at Dipper, making a please help me and I'll buy you breakfast face. You hope he understands. Yeah, Mabel, I know you want to cook more since you're becoming an adult. Sure, but don't you think Grunkle Stan and Great Uncle Ford should be here to try them too, and not just me? Again? Mabel hops up the stepladder and ponders her brother's question, lips pursed. Eventually she nods, beaming at you both. You're right, Dipper. I can't deny them that experience. You give Dipper a thankful smile over Mabel's head as she puts the ingredients back in the refrigerator. He grins back at you, rubbing the back of his neck. You wonder if he got that from one of his grunkles. That's clever. Now that you think about it, great plus uncle to make grunkle saves time on syllables. You should go to Greasy's. They have some of the best pancakes there, with like 3 different kinds of syrup if you ask Lazy Susan nicely. Yeah, it's not super far. Let's go. The kids are about to head out of the kitchen when you realize something. Wait, aren't you going to leave a note for your grunkles about where you're going? Oh, right. Good call. Dipper scribbles out a note for Stan and Ford and sticks it on the front of the door of the shack with one of Mabel's stickers. The kids lead the way toward the town, explaining various landmarks and the wild, wonderful stories attached to them along the way. And this is where we saw those 2 ghostly old people in a convenience store? Strange, but you nod regardless. Maybe she meant they were so old they looked like ghosts. Sorry, I had to yawn. I was holding that back for like 2 minutes. Though, after what you've heard about Gravity Falls already, you could believe they were real ghosts. Dipper points out the diner in the distance, a log-shaped building atop a train cart, and the 3 of you head inside. Ah, Greasies. You soon realize the kids know just about everyone in this town. Several people, young and old, wave at them as the 3 of you find a table. You get the feeling that they're almost famous in Gravity Falls, though you're not entirely sure why. They're pretty cute, though. Mabel blows the paper wrapper of her straw at Dipper's face, and he retaliates by swatting her with the laminated menu. An elderly woman in pink pastel waitress dress comes up to the table, and you catch the name on her tag, Susan. Hiya, kids! And stranger! What can I get for you? Pancakes! And all 3 serves for me, please, Susan. Lazy Susan. Same for me, actually. Lazy Susan turns to you, notepad in hand. What will you get? What will we get? I say either waffles or scrambled eggs. Straw paper. You know me, I wouldn't do that. Waffles it is! Coming right up, sweetie! Lazy Susan winks, with her good eye, of course, and heads back to the back of the diner. The wait for your food to arrive feels longer here than most, mainly due to Mabel and Dipper using the time to interrogate you. At first, it's somewhat intimidating. You literally crashed into their house and started hanging out with their great uncles, so they have lots of questions. Once the irrational fear of two 13-year-olds fades out, you recognize their interview for more what it really is. They care about their grunkles, so if you do start hanging out with them more, they want to know as much about you as possible. Mabel's questions are somewhat nonsensical. So if you were stranded on a desert island with no boat, no cheating, what would you take with you? Oh god. Well, Dippers are more careful and calculated. What were you doing before you came here? School? Work? Both? Neither? Did you know about Gravity Falls before you crashed into the shack? You immediately know which Grunkle each twin takes after. Stan and Mabel, goofy partners in crime, versus the quiet brainiacs, Ford and Dipper. It's an intriguing contrast, especially now that you're thrown into the middle of the bunch. But as the twins race to see which syrup bottle drips into their mouth the fastest, Dipper's blueberry syrup beats Mabel's classic maple syrup by half a millisecond. You swear on it. You know that these kids do a lot more for their great uncles than just be cute counterparts. And here we go! Enjoy, kiddos! Let me know if you need anything else! Lazy Susan gives out the respective plates, and the kids go quiet, shoveling down their food like they've never been fed before. Between mouthfuls, you get a few more questions about yourself and your theories on aliens versus which member of the end synchronized was your favorite, but the table is nearly silent as all three of you eat. That is, until Mabel speaks through a mouthful of pancake. So, Grunkle Fowler, if in a total made-up, not real situation, if you had to pick who your favorite was, who'd you pick? Grunkle Stan or Grunkle Ford? Curse you, Mabel. This is too bland compared to the other cutesy questions. Dipper elbows his sister, not so subtly, and she elbows him right back, wide eyes staring at him in sibling-linked look. You can't decipher. Like, say you're in a movie, like one of those weird movies Grunkle Stan watches on TV with the ladies in poofy dresses riding horses. Awfully specific, but you let her continue taking another bite of your food. You're the main character of this movie, and you got two guys who are both madly in love with you. This one doesn't mess around with getting right to the point, huh? But you can only marry one of them, so you could be the next in line for the throne. What would you do? If Grunkle Stan and Grunkle Ford were your choices, who would you go with? Mabel, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, really weird and kind of gross. Come on, Dipper. This is important information that's vital to my research. What research? None of your business, yet. But I'm still gathering other research. Mabel leans toward Dipper's ear to whisper, waggling her brow at you before she replies, and not a whisper, but quite the opposite. Research into how you're a huge nerd! And with that, Mabel catapults a spoonful of melted butter from atop her pancakes onto Dipper's cheek with a very satisfying splat. Dipper jerks in disgust, but retaliates by smearing strawberry syrup into Mabel's nose and dropping a drop of stickiness plopping onto her sweater. Ew, gross! You're gross. There's no vitriol between the twins, but lots of giggles and a few more various food missiles. Eventually, syrup streaks Mabel's cheekbone and some of her hair, and Dipper has a small piece of pancake stuck to his face. You guys are dorks. Maybe you're right, but we're twins, so it's adorable. If you say so, Mabel. Wait, quick! Grunkle Fondler, take a picture of us while Dipper got pancake on his face. I have what? He swipes quickly at his face. After several passes, gets it off. Aw, I was trying to get more candid pictures of us. Mabel, you have syrup everywhere. Really? Ugh, then it would have been a perfect photo. Here, let me get it. Your hands are sticky. Oh, here, let me get it. Your hands are sticky enough. You get back up with napkin in hand and try to wipe some of the syrup off Mabel's cheeks. The excess syrup swipes off easily, but a good portion doesn't budge. I mean, maybe syrup as makeup is the next new look. That's one... Oh, it's Stan. That's one word for it, kid! Hey! We wondered where you went once we came back to a suspiciously quiet house. If it weren't for Dipper's note, we would have been worried. Sixer would have been worried. I tried to tell him the kids pull this kind of stuff all the time. Heading out unannounced, putting stress on your poor uncle, old Grunkle's heart. He puts a hand over his heart dramatically. All those missing hours of unpaid child labor. Actually, the Dipper wasn't me. Well, I wrote it, but Grunkle Fondler's the one who said we should, so that you'd know where we went. Both Ford and Stan turned to look at you surprised. Really? Figured these two knuckleheads dragged you here. Why not make breakfast at home? This place is at least a 15-minute walk from the shack. Well, you glance at Dipper, swiping his fingers across Mabel's cheeks, licking the blueberry syrup off. Mabel has a pancake in her mouth, chewing on it like a grazing sheep. I wanted to treat them for something, I guess. It's the least I can do. You're letting me stay with you and fixing my car. I thought since you were gone, I'd take these two out for a change. Also, Mabel's gonna make Mabel cakes again. You're just mad you can't even make toast right. Well, yes I can. I burned it one time. One time. Dipper holds his syrup-tipped finger in the air, indignant. Well, Mabel wanted you guys to enjoy your Mabel cakes too, and since there wasn't much food, I figured I'd take them out. Stan snatches the pancake from Mabel's mouth and takes a bite out of it, cackling when she stands on the seat, trying to grab it back, climbing over Dipper to reach. Aside from the kerfuffle, you catch Ford's eye. Was he staring at you? As soon as he realizes, he quickly sets his gaze elsewhere, looking over your head and out the window. You'd say that he probably just shifted his attention, but his finger hooks under the high neck of his sweater and tugs at it. Well, Grunkle Fondler, I really appreciate you looking after Dipper and Mabel for us. It was very kind of you bringing them here. Oh, it wasn't a big deal, really. I'm happy to help. You smile at him, pretending you don't feel how warm your face is. Maybe it's just hot and greasy. Ford looks close to the shade of his sweater. Dipper mumbles an ow as you catch Mabel elbowing his side, waggling her brows at him. You're not sure why. Well, kid, if you pay and scoot over, Dipper, I want breakfast too. Stanley, it's at least 12:30 now. Grunkle Ford, that means it's time for brunch! Duh! See? This kid gets me. Now, let me in so I can get some grub. Dipper moves to your side of the booth as Stan sits next to Mabel, and Ford sits at Dipper's side. Lazy Susan comes back and takes orders for another round of food and drinks for everyone, including Mabel, who decides she wants more pancakes. You're starting to regret offering to pay, but as Stan and Mabel try their hand at the serve drip race, with Dipper cheering them on, Ford watching with a wide grin on his face, you know you really don't mind that much. Aw, that was adorable. After the expedition to find Mothman, you accompanied Ford on a few other missions, so to speak, examining various birds in the forest, including a questionable stomach-faced duck, who snatched your sandwich and quickly ran off. Ford in hot pursuit. While he didn't find what evidence he needed, something to do with their digestive systems, you both decide that the stomach-faced duck flock were questionable. Not as questionable as the question quail, which he shows you from a scanned journal page, but still questionable. You ask why he decided that Hoctopus was too stupid to study, but received a loud groan and too sticky as an answer. Valid point. All in all, your adventures with Ford have been more enjoyable than you'd expected, and you can't help but hope that you'll get to experience another one with him soon. You walk through the living room, lost in thought about question quails and Ford's journal pages, narrowly avoiding slipping on a sheet of graph paper. Ah! Don't look! Oh, it's you. Dipper peers out over the book that proclaims D, D, and more D, official license campaign journal. He's sitting on the yellow armchair with crisscross legs barricaded in with books and paper. He's got a lap of multicolored dice and a half-dozen chewed pencils strewn across the floor, and one in his mouth. You look down and notice the floor is almost entirely covered in graph paper. Hi. Did you need something? I know it's kind of messy. I should probably clean that up. Dipper looks reluctant to extract himself from his self-constructed fantasy lore prison. Here, I can do it. You look busy. You're about halfway through cleaning the floor before you actually start looking at what's on the various sheets you're holding. A fantasy map, some floor plans, and countless scribbled notes and calculations in the margins. What are these for? Planning something? Dipper's re-immersed in his planning. He startles a little when you ask. Oh, right. It's no big deal. It's just for this great pen and paper role-playing game called Dungeons, Dungeons, and More Dungeons. DD and MD for short. It's all about fantasy worlds and statistics and swords and, well, it's kind of difficult to explain, but it's super fun. I'm playing it with Grunkle 4 today, so I'm just putting down the final touches on my dungeon. He's gonna be so stumped. Stumped, you say? Ford comes into the room at that precise moment, drying his hands on his trench coat. Perfect timing, Dipper. I just managed to get the paint off my hands. Paint? From what? Oh, one of the gnomes came by and decided he'd graffiti the side of the house. Something about his rapper persona. Yeesh. Yes, I don't think J. Gnomesy is going anywhere in the music business. In any event, I see you've been hard at work. Are you ready for our game? Yes, and oh, Grunkle, I could take these now. Thanks for your help. Ford looks like he just noticed you standing there for the first time since he entered the room. Grunkle, glad to see you weren't too shaken up by our adventure yesterday. You grin and hand Dipper the tall stack of papers, catching a glimpse of the stats for a knock-knock skull. Well, I made it back in one piece, right? That's the spirit, though 90% of a piece would have been good too. You know, you never realize how little a difference 10% makes until you lose it. Uh-huh. So, how was the Mothman? Shaken up. All in the name of research, though. I've seen it lose a few moths and come back the next week good as new. A process akin to cycling out dead cells, I would say. We just expedited that process. No moral issues there. Well, Grunkle, the game calls and I must answer. Stanley's about if you're looking for him, though. Well, if you wanted to join our game, I certainly wouldn't object. I can promise a fun afternoon. Another player? Yeah, totally! I can give you a pre-made character sheet to start, and dice. Shoot, where'd I put my other set? Don't worry, I've got an extra set. Of course. Me? I don't even know how to play. Oh man, there's so many rules where to start. I mean, it's really easy to pick up. It's even, like, kind of popular now. You're not sure about committing the whole afternoon to this game with Ford, though Dipper does seem pretty excited about it. But Stan's around too, and you wanted to go check on your car. Well, think about it, Grunkle Fondler. Dipper, my boy, why don't you and I get things set up in the meantime? Ford and Dipper launch into fantasy lore talk as they prop up a corkboard against the yellow armchair, pin up various maps and floor plans with the important landmarks, and appending their pouches of dice onto the carpet. Shall we play the game or go find Stan? I say we play the game. I'm always up for some D&D. What y'all think? D&D or Stan? I say D&D. D&D! Asked to join their game. Great! Oh shoot, did you look at the plans earlier? Those were for Dungeon Master's eyes only. If only I'd known you were gonna join us. I say B. Yeah, I did. I know all your plans. All of them. I love that. B. Alright, yeah I did. I know all your plans. All of them! Haha, very funny. Or do you? Go for it. Do you think they... What? Sorry, I was rereading this passage on Dwarven architecture. They've really improved their illustrations, though I can't say the same for their poor prose. Dipper and Ford finally put the final pieces in their place. The floor is encircled in a mix of propped up corkboards, books, maps, notes, and loose leaf paper. Ford unfolds a game board in the center of the madness. Brilliant! We're all ready. Don't look so nervous, Grunkle Fondler. You'll have me here to walk you through it. Ford sits down next to the game board. He pats the piece of carpet next to him, inviting you to sit. And you do. Dipper sits across from you, the other side of the game board, and unfolds an illustrated piece of cardboard, propping it up in front of him. He notices your questioning gaze on it and looks back at you. Oh yeah, this is the Dungeon Master screen. It's just there to protect my secrets. It hides essential die rolls and plot points from prying player eyes. Grunkle Ford's tried to look ahead once or twice and spoiled a narrative twist, and you were the only player. I'm just making sure my dungeon mastering apprentice stays on his toes. You can never be too vigilant. Alright, Mom, see you later. Thank you for joining. I might be done, actually. I'm really tired. I had to do lots of chores today, guys. So, I think that's actually where I'm gonna end it. Sorry about cutting this stream a little short, but, we'll probably live stream, some of my con exploits this weekend, if you want me to. Just put in the comments if you want to see me at the con. Anyways, yeah. I hope you guys have a good day, a good week, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye!